At this time, I'd like to invite questions.
Mr. Mellace, your press release says that you tried to smoke marijuana in the House of Commons today. Could you just describe what happened for me? I'm just I'm at a loss here. Like, where were you in the chamber? What happened? Just can you describe it for me? Just looking straight into the camera.
I was sitting on the top balcony on the right-hand side, and felt an anxiety coming on, and I lit up a joint and had a few tokes.
That was during question period today?
That was during question period.
Security didn't stop you?
Not until shortly after, within about a minute after.
And then what happened, sir?
And then I was asked to leave the building.
And what, were you handcuffed at all? Were you escorted out? Could you just...
No. I told them I was taking my medication, and I didn't realize that that was wrong.
Did they fine you at all, or did they give you a ticket, a warning, or anything?
I don't believe there's a bylaw that states any use of medical marijuana in a cigarette form. There's no bylaw. What are you going to charge me for? Non-smoking policy pertains to tobacco. I'm taking my medication. But I was not handcuffed. I was very politely asked to leave and cooperated fully. Didn't realize that there was an issue.
How many tokes did you take on it? By how far did you get?
Well, I could show you the miracle joint.
Sure. Let's see the miracle joint.
This was the joint that was smoked in the House of Commons.
And how far did you go? How many tokes did you get? Or?
There was approximately that one.
So how many tokes would you equate that to?
7, 8.
What did the people around you do when you started?
There wasn't anyone around.
And how long did it take before, once you sparked it, I know you kind of mentioned it, from the time you sparked it to the time you were told to put it out and leave, how long, what was the time frame?
A couple minutes. And the security officer was from here to the wall away. And then he came over and wanted to put it out. And I did.
So you've been allowed back into the building, sir, am I correct on that? Or how is this press conference taking place if you were escorted out of the building?
I wasn't escorted out. I wasn't. I walked out with Buck.
Oh, so you didn't have to leave question period. You just put out.
Excuse me?
You didn't have to leave question period?
Oh yeah, we had to leave question period. And then we left, got our jackets, and
He wasn't asked to leave the property per se.
Okay.
I wasn't escorted.
We're just trying to be clear on...
Okay.
I was not escorted off the property.
Okay. And what time of day? Like the suggestion that maybe question period ended. Do you have the exact...
Approximately 3 o'clock. All the MPs were aware that there was somebody smoking marijuana.
Did they look up?
Yeah.
And what sort of faces did you get when they looked up?
Smiles.
Which MP did you
I'm
make
not-
eye contact
I'm not
with?
going to say.
Can you hold it up one more time?
I'm not going to say. I couldn't tell you their names by on both sides.
And just to be clear, where did you get it from?
I grew up. My name is Sam Mellace. I have a press release. I'm sure you can Google my name and you'll see that I'm quite involved with this whole program. And one of the reasons of coming up and doing something like this is to raise awareness and try and get both the government and society to realize that marijuana is not harmful. It does not hurt you. There's many, many good attitudes for the properties in this plant. And if more research was done, and if more cooperation was done within our government, instead of the political interference and personal agendas, then I'm pretty sure that our society would see that Tylenol 3s, Percocets, and the opiate markets that are out there that are hurting our society can, and probably for pain relief, will be substituted by different forms of marijuana.
One other detailed question, sir. Were you going along this hall, so you're in that gallery, or were you in the far gallery? Could you see the speaker from where you were?
Far gallery.
Far gallery, so you couldn't.
South.
South. Okay.
So you were across from the speaker?
Yes, I was right at this end, and I could see the speaker.
Did he see it?
So I was at the other end. Where the speaker is, I'm at this end.
How much marijuana do you smoke in a day?
I consume my marijuana through baking and cooking means. The reason why I did what I did today is because I do not smoke marijuana. I use it in butter forms. I bake, put it in my spaghetti sauce, soups, gravies, make cookies from it, and Health Canada perceives that as an extraction. But there is no alcohol-based use. There is no harm.
So you're technically contravening the health.
Excuse me.
Sorry, you're technically contravening the Health Canada regulations by doing that, correct?
My license is based on baking and cooking. As far as contravening, as the program itself goes and the regulations, the way they're set up, then I would have to say yes to that. I would have to say yes. But on the other hand, all you're doing is putting butter and marijuana together and filtering out the marijuana. So in other words, you're not chewing on twigs and leaves and items like that. All you're doing is using it for baking and cooking, like I said. That's one form. Other forms of extraction, we at New Age Medical have developed an arthritic hand cream. You don't get high from it. You can't smoke it, but yet it relieves the arthritic pain that one has. And Health Canada, once again, does not want to recognize that there is actually something else out there that could help in relieving people's arthritic pain, soft tissue damages. This cream does work. And I have to climb the hurdles still to show that there, once again, is different means. By smoking marijuana, the phobia lasts up to 2 hours. Or the cookie, for example, it could last up to 6 to 8. Different forms, less being used. So if I had a cookie in the House of Commons, even though you can't eat, would that have made a difference? I could have had a cookie in my pocket and eaten that, and it would have been marijuana laced. Or I did what I did today by taking my medication in the House of Commons. And if there is, and I understand where this gentleman's going for security reasons, understandably, the breach, if you want to call it a security, is one thing. I wasn't intended to breach any security. I was just trying to make a point that marijuana is not the only way.
If can you just hold up your joint one more time and tell me what that symbolizes to you. You made your trek all the way here. What does that symbolize to you right now?
What this symbolizes to me right now, and even in its smoking form, is the relief that I'll get from my pain if I smoke this. Which, I developed it. I made it. I know there's no carcinogenics in it. I know there's no pesticides in it. And by smoking it, I realize that right now, it's a savior to me. I would not have to take a Tylenol 3 or a Percocet or an Oxycontin to relieve my pain, which will cause potential addiction to me, which has also caused my liver damage that I have and why I do have a license to produce marijuana. So on that form, I'd like to turn around and use that, like I said, in a more natural way, in a butter form, where I can incorporate it in my foods. My appetite stays the same. I'm hungry, never have a headache, never have nausea problems again. And that's what this represents.
When are you going to go smoke the rest of it?
Would you like to come? if you've never tasted it. OG Kush from BC. There you go. Just kidding. I couldn't do that. That's it.
So what now? You know, I mean, obviously you've done something very, I won't use the term explosive, but very distinct to get your message across. Where do you go from now?
Where we go from here is trying to get as many people as possible to either come on board with New Age Medical and pursue furtherances and unite as a potential voting power. With the amount of people out there that are on the MMAR program, and any political party should start to understand that sooner or later, there's going to be a lot of votes there. And the sooner that people start understanding that, and that's not a threat, it's just common sense that, you know, you oblige people and get the people what they want, then that would go accredited to them. There is nothing wrong with marijuana. What's wrong is the way the government is utilizing the money right now for this program, and the fact that contracts are handed out without proper means, which again I will say political interference, referring to the Prairie Plant System contract that was just given to them again for $17.6 million, 3 times as much, which I can't understand how that happened. Our taxpayers are going through to pay a lot of money for that, and that was from the medical marijuana. Are there any other questions?
Just something for when the press conference is done.
What's that?
Something when the press conference is done. But
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
We're done? Good. Brad, you killed the mic there?